This is DJ Chuck T, the Carolina King. As a matter of fact, I changed my name. I'm now the most powerful man in hip-hop music. And you are watching crazyhiphopworld.com or at crazyhiphopworld if you the social media type nigga, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Culture Collective. Y'all make sure y'all follow them on all social media. And make sure you follow me too, at DJ Chuck T on everything.
Hey guys, you're tuned in live with Crazy Hip Hop World. We've got the Carolina legend here, DJ Chuck T. He's got some amazing juice that he's about to sauce up. People say like fuck the radio, and I've always wondered like, are they saying that because they've gone to the radio and they're just like, man, these people ain't show me love, or is it because
they
of
go
the
to that too?
So female rappers. I'm trying. Where are they? Not saying that they're not out here, but how can we get them more like
visible?
More visible, because Renni Rucci.
They want Rucci. Renni told him I need that new Louis. I knock him out like a roofie. Put this pussy on his head like a koofy. Poppin' my shit and he love how I do it. He get them bills and he know how I move.
I thought she was from Charlotte because I saw her flyers everywhere. Became an instant fan.
She's from Columbia.
She's from Columbia, so I'm like, yo, South Carolina, like they do the
listen, I came up with Renni before she was Renni.
She's really talented. I love her fucking music.
Yeah,
like,
this is before she even made one rap. Like when she said she was rapping, and her manager told me she was rapping because all of us ran together. You know, I was like, for real? But she was always talented. Like even
was
before
she really
was
quiet
dancer.
or like?
No, she was really like quiet. She always had a big personality.
That's awesome.
And she was doing modeling. And I think like the first time I met her, I was like, listen, I'm trying to make some shit happen with models who aren't scared to really, really get out here and get in videos and twerk and dance. If you gotta do implied nude, do implied nude, all that. She was like, fuck it, let's do it. And I remember I pulled up on her. I was at a Waffle House. IHOP. I was coming back from Charleston, and I called her and was like, hey, I'm passing through Columbia. You want to meet? And she was like, oh, I'm injured. I played baseball the other day. Cause she's always been active. Like the body she has, like that shit.
She been in the gym.
No, she was active. And people think it's all surgery. Like it's not. Like she definitely has worked for that. So when she pulled up on me, she was literally on fucking crutches and her leg wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, listen, I got artists who need videos. Everybody goes to Atlanta and they're paying these fucking Atlanta models like $1,000 to be in their videos, and I'm like, we got bad bitches here.
45-minute.
Yeah. Like we got bad bitches here. You need to use the bad bitches we got.
Absolutely.
I got you. Let me put some shit together. But you know, at that point in time, I was dating a female who was like, oh hell.
No.
So when we talk about that relationship and that work-life balance, when we talk about relationships and work-life balance, that's why I said I'm the wrong person you want to take relationship advice from. Because I'll tell anybody, the minute they start tripping, leave their ass. Because I felt like I gave up the best part of my career. I could be so much further in my career if I wasn't trying to cater to my girl at the same time. You know, knowing that I could never keep her happy. I thought I could juggle them both.
Why are people scared? Because like, and this is very crazy because I see a lot of people like, especially now, like no one in my team, but like other teams that I see, there'll be that one dude that really, he's got that fucking talent, but his girl is crazy as hell. Or that one girl, she really got that talent, but her nigga don't know how to act. So it's like, how do you pull away?
We just went through that with a young lady from the 336. I had a good friend of mine who was a DJ who was helping her with her career. And bruh used to be so overprotective.
Oh God.
Because it's a male-driven industry, my nigga. She's gonna be in the studio with niggas at 3 in the morning, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's gonna be, you know, at the condo, at the suite with niggas at 3 in the morning, bro. Like, especially when you're on the grind and niggas, there's 9 of y'all and y'all gotta chip in for 3 hotel rooms. She's the female artist. There's gonna be niggas in the room with her. Listen, you'd be amazed at the people who've never been to a Hornets game. You'd be amazed at the people who've never been to the Spectrum Center if it wasn't for the circus or for Disney on Ice with their kids. You know, the Charlotte Hornets are the culture. You gotta think, we fought to get the name Hornets back. Because remember, it was the Charlotte Bobcats. The Hornets moved to New Orleans. And then New Orleans changed their name to the Pelicans because they wanted their own brand. They didn't want the old Charlotte brand connected to it. And then we had to fight to change the name. That's why they had the whole Bring Back the Buzz campaign. So the Hornets.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Listen,
amazing team.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the Hornets are the fabric of the city. I would say even more so than the Panthers. You know, because the Charlotte Hornets actually wear the name of the city. It's not a two-state campaign. You know?
But do you feel like it's also the community involvement though?
Yeah, no. They're lacking community involvement from us. You know what I'm saying? They're lacking community involvement from us. And that's why somebody asked me today, they were like, so this is music industry night? Is this hip-hop music industry night? Because there ain't no pop artists or country artists, nobody on this shit. This is all rap niggas. And I was like, I don't think that was the goal, but they knew that they needed to get us and they let me do whatever. Nobody ever once came to me and said, can we get some other ethnicities involved?
Because we don't have that reach here. And I'll be honest, you know, I was a little
We do, it's over our heads.
But they're getting support because Charlotte Music Matters and these huge music movements are awesome, but let's be honest, they are not directly targeted towards the hip-hop genre.
Exactly.
Because I've reached out to them and I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Because it's not just about my team. There are other teams too. There are other teams that I work with that I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like I'm so blessed to have a relationship with Megan from $1 Billion Baby because she's one of those people, like what I call you people. They see people and they bless them and they get their blessings. You see what I'm saying? So when looking at what you're trying to do with this event, you know, with Culture Collect, with the label, what we're starting, how can we help you further your message? And I'm not just talking about, you know, on Instagram. I'm not talking about just these regular ass ways. I'm talking about how can we help you really just put the nail in the coffin so the next time someone comes around, there'll be no question about who they need to ask.
Coverage. You know, coverage on the event, coverage on what we have going on.
Yeah, we love to bring Crazy Hip Hop World, man. We've gotten a lot of, we got some good traction on there too, man. You gotta watch them, they're funny. I'm
gonna see what you got.
Okay.
I feel like that's the last piece of the infrastructure here in Charlotte that we need to make the music community super successful. We need real media coverage. Okay. And this is something that I always knew, and I used to always tell people that. But now that this Hornets event is going on, everybody's hit me up for media passes. Can I get media? Can I get media? Can I get media? And when I submit their information to the Hornets, they're looking for real media. They're like, Chuck, this is a gossip blog. All of these, like, they don't even have a website. It's just an IG page with a bunch of who's the best rapper. And
those little templates,
videos.
like,
exactly, yeah, the little templates, that look like say cheese and all that other shit.
It's
so
the same.
Exactly. Everybody's taking that format, and nobody is actually reporting real news. It's all, like I told you earlier, clickbait. Nobody's ever is sitting down with these rappers and getting into their head and getting into their music and spotlighting the hot producers and the hot engineers. Nobody is spotlighting the dope video models who's not sucking dick, but she's actually out here, working and goddamn twerking in these videos. Because I tell people, shit, you see the white chick in the Baby's video, you know what I'm saying, who's twerking, like, she's famous for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's in the Bop video shaking her ass. And you even seen when they tried to come at her after they did, Saturday Night Live, and they tried to, attack her. Oh, she's twerking, and he's objectifying women, and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, no. They tried to take
women have been getting objectified for a little while.
I mean, shit, men have been getting objectified too. You got the whole gray sweatpants shit, you know what I'm saying? And then not just that, but like 50 Cent brought it to everybody's attention. He said, you think I go in the gym and I work out and I take my shirt off for niggas? No, that's for women. You think LL Cool J licks his lips for niggas? No, it's for women. But
Drake said that too in his documentary, and it was 2 hours, but I watched it because I was like, yo, he was literally saying, and the way they talked about him, they called him gay, they called him this, they called him that. But little did he know that was the step that was going to take him just flying past everyone.
Exactly.
So, like, again, like, just kind of wrapping up with what you're doing and like with what people know about you, people that aren't from Charlotte, with this microscope being put on us, what do you want them to know about you and the music community here?
That shit, I'm here to actually move the culture forward. And a lot of people get in for self-serving reasons. naturally we all want to make money and we all want to live good.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I understand that, you know, I am only as big as the person next to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you go back to, you know, ancient Greece and Rome and how they fought on the battlefield, they fought shoulder to shoulder and they fought, you know, shield to shield.
No spaces.
And exactly, no spaces, no gaps, and that's how they were able to conquer, you know, even conquer armies that were 5-10 times bigger than them. And it's the same thing we have to do here. We have to fight shoulder to shoulder. We got to fight shield to shield. You're only as big as the next person because nobody was checking for us a year and a half ago. Dababy blows, my phone blows up daily. Who's next? Who's this? Who's that? Chuck, fill me in on this artist. I got this artist we're over here looking at. The labels call me on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I was
You know, the
fortunate
labels
enough to
come-
go to the
Even the radio
Baby.
station.
I was
comes in,
part of.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny because you know, Megan texted me. She's like, we love you to come out, so I came out.
You talking
And
about the Spotify?
the
DJ,
Spotify.
DJ
Yeah, I know. I tell
yeah.
you, I thought it was a great atmosphere, but what I
It was
also
a
thought
wonderful
was
atmosphere.
funny
Niggas ain't
was
with that
people were looking at me like I was crazy as fuck because I was talking to everybody,
You
and
got
I
to.
didn't understand. I was like, y'all, this is. I'm not from Charlotte, but Charlotte is my home, so I'm
That's
just trying to push.
Spotify is the number one streaming service.
Hello,
in America.
I'm like, y'all, it's
You know?
just fucking rap caviar. That's fine. Nobody else cares then.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all just sit the fuck back
No,
and take those
they did care.
pictures.
Because they don't have Spotify.
But for a person
You know what
like
I'm
me,
saying?
that's wonderful because they were
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay. And again, like, it's not about me. It's not about just the team. It's about the movement because it's not just us. The 4 people you see in this room, that's only a tiny amount of people. I had a guy call me randomly off of the internet, off of Google, and I was excited, yes, because my SEO's been cooking up. And he was like, hey, is this a record label? And I was like, yes, it is. And I was so excited because he said we were the only one that popped up. Now, I know that's not the truth, but he found us. And he's so talented. But again, he was like, where are the people at? Where's everybody at? I know about this guy, I know about that guy. So I'm so excited that you took the time.
We got to get on our business, and that's why I started the music business classes.
It's very essential.
Because I feel like the talent is here, the infrastructure could be a little better, but it's coming up. But the business is just not here by any means. I had somebody from the radio station, and I literally just posted this. If you go on my IG, on my Facebook, I posted it on my way here.
Mm-hmm.
I had a radio station call me. They're starting an Indie Sunday show.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 radio stations that are starting an Indie Sunday show. They're both iHeart stations here in the Carolinas.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the songs have to be clean, and they have to be not just edited for curse words, but content as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot
Now
of
the
people
lyricism, what are you gonna talk about?
They you know,
For sure.
everybody edits
That's
out
real
shit, fuck, damn. But am I, you know, editing out stuff on my pole? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I editing out blow his face off? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know, like you have to edit for content as well.
Do you think?
Hold on, let me finish.
Oh, go ahead.
The second thing they were looking for was the songs had to be registered with Mediabase and BDS, which are the
Okay.
2 tracking systems that track spins.
Gotcha.
Then it had to be registered with Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange ensures that you get paid off of your performing right side of the song. Then you had to make sure that the song has an ISRC. Those are the 4 things you had to make sure before you could submit that song, before they would even want to touch it, that they had to have, because they have to be able to track your music. They need to be able to pay you from your PRO.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be able to make sure that they don't get fined because the song is too fucking dirty. So those are 4 things that they were
belong
looking
to
for.
you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So in my class, I teach all those 4 things. All of my students know how to do that shit. The girl literally said, the DJ who's over the show literally said, people hit me up, I want on the show, I send them this list, I never hear from them again. She said, I can't do my show on Sunday because I don't have any music. I gotta have at least 12 songs. It's a 2-hour show. She said, I gotta at least have 12 songs. I can never get 12.
Well, call sis. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she's dead serious. I give you her info because that's what she
No,
wants.
I'm making a joke, but honestly, you wouldn't be surprised at the number of people that I have tried to explain even a fourth of that to, and I never hear from them. Or they say, oh, well, she's just talking some other shit. I'm trying to get on these shows, and I'm just like,
and they be like, fuck the radio. I'm like, fuck the radio.
Tell me about radio.
I'm a real street nigga. I don't fuck with the radio.
What does that mean?
You crazy? Like, that means I'm too fucking scared to handle my business and go speak eloquently to somebody about getting my music played, and then I am not talented enough to make a song that can be pushed commercially. But then even when you listen to the radio, like a lot of that stuff isn't commercial. At one point in time, it had to sound a certain type of way, have a poppy feel to it to get on the radio. Now you turn on the radio, it's all the street shit. You know what I'm saying? All the street shit on the radio now.
So is iHeart is it?
iHeart is Clear Channel. They're the biggest.
Clear Channel. Okay, yeah. I didn't know if they were based in, because I met some people that worked there. I didn't know if they were based in like North Carolina or if they were based in the southern region.
No, they're the biggest radio conglomerate. Okay. Yeah, we still know them as Clear Channel. They weren't really public with changing the name.
So 103.3 and 92, are they because someone told me there's a black-owned radio station here in Charlotte, but
103.
103, okay.
Yeah, Streets 103.
Gotcha.
It's actually owned by a guy from out of Rock Hill named Dr. Neely.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
He leased it to the same company that has Streets in Atlanta.
Okay.
So now they have Streets.
I saw that brand name. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same company, but he owns it. He bought it.
I used to work for Times Square Media.
He's not even
and the radio market is like, woo.
Yeah, like he's not even like a real
like
doctor. He's so great in business that they gave him an honorary doctor.
I mean, you have to. That's a market that is almost, they've been trying to keep. Is he a person of color?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I would love to learn more about his story, for real. More people should, because people say, like, fuck the radio, and I've always wondered, like, are they saying that because they've gone to the radio and they're just like, man, these people ain't showing me love, or is it because
they
of
go
the streaming
that
but
too,
if it's
and
it's like, come on, niggas, we gotta just get the work.
Yeah, look, listen, man. I always felt like shit. You need the radio because the radio is the only thing that you got that's gonna really, really make sure that 1 million people hear you at one time.
Do you think interviews still hold the same importance at radio stations? Because I kind of see them, of course, like outlets like the Breakfast Club and stuff like that, but any outlet in general, when you go to a radio station, do you feel like it's equally important to get the interview?
Definitely.
And how do those steps
especially if it's the morning show, because those ratings are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But now you see the radio going into more music because the conglomerates are paying more money for spins now. So you have more music being played on the radio and less interviews. That's why you have the Breakfast Club doing these hour-and-a-half interviews. You already know that shit is not about to make it on the air. If you live in New York, or even if you tune in to a sister station like down here, the Breakfast Club interviews are really, really short. They're probably like maybe 30, 45 minutes. So then you go to YouTube or you go on the Revolt site. Then you can watch the full 2-hour interview. You know what I'm saying? But radio interviews definitely hold weight because, like I said, you have millions of listeners listening at one time. Then you now have the internet aspect of it to where people can go and listen to it whenever they want. Mm-hmm. And then you have the content portion that you can use for your social media and your websites to show people that you're working. So radio interviews are more important now because remember, back in the day, you fucking missed this radio interview, it was fucking rap.
There was not enough content channels for it.
Like it was a rap. If I wasn't tuning in to hear Birdman say, you know what I'm saying?
5 o'clock.
You know, exactly. All three of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna put some respect on my name. If I missed it, I missed it and I had to hear about it in the streets. Right. Now, if I missed it, niggas is like, oh, that shit gonna be on YouTube in about an hour. Boy, they gonna
wait for it.
Boom, then it goes on YouTube, and then boom, now it's all on social media. So yeah, radio interviews are still just as important. And as an artist, you need to cover all the bases. There's not one specific thing you can do to blow. You have to specifically do all of them. You have to conquer the streets. You have to conquer the internet. You got to conquer the radio. You got to reach out to hip-hop music is the #1 genre of music in the world. So you just can't go on the west side, off Freedom or Betty's Ford and do what you got to do now. Now you got to go to Myers Park as well. You know what I'm saying? You can't be concerned about the fucking soccer moms over there. Oh my God, these niggers pulled up and they had gold teeth and fucking.
The kids are gonna go crazy.
They
ain't never seen no shit like that.
Listen, you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about what the mom and them say. It's the little kids who are like, oh my God, are you a rapper? Are you famous, man? Like, yo, have you ever met Young Dolph? Have you gonna go on their Spotify. Yeah, man, I'm gonna check you out, man. You know, I'm on my Spotify now. And then next thing you know, you over here looking at your IG, and you're like, God damn, where did I get 750 new followers from? And they're all like little white kids, like doing this, and then
with their
you know, yeah,
I love it though, because it's a real. Now you've built a fan.
Exactly, that's a fan. And listen,
fan.
and now you post something, and an old hating ass nigga come on here and be like, damn nigga, you look gay. And then you got all these fucking little white kids going, fuck you, man, suck my dick. That's my homie. His music is the shit. Fuck you, man. Like,
they'll pull up too. They will pull up. Lil Uzi's fans are, man.
Oh no, Uzi's fans are vicious.
You might get killed.
Yeah, they are vicious.
And they're like 10-year-old little boys. They're like, oh, I'll come to your mom's house and know where she lives. I'm looking at her VPN. Yeah, we're gonna get you.
Yeah, like Lil Uzi has some.
Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, bro, they got fans, but those
the Beehive, you know, they're fucking women, so it's like I'm not taking them serious. But no, Lil Uzi, like you go and look, you be like,
wait a minute, hold on, retraction. I have a friend that when it comes to the Beehive, I've known her for 14 years. She's a businesswoman, but all of it goes to the side.
Listen, I'm a huge Beyonce fan. I tell people that out the gate, like any female I date, I'm like, yo, Beyonce slander will not be tolerated. You know, they always say if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. You know what I'm saying? And that's still true to this day.
Right.
Even in the digital age.
Right.
You know, because it's like the internet is the wild, wild west. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many people doing it, so many people trying to do it, so many people trying to figure things out. You don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are. You don't know what's false information and what's true. And a lot of people will think that they know something, you know, because they watched a ton of YouTube videos and, you know, they've watched a lot of blogs and they go on social media and they hear these rappers talk and, you know, these CEOs talk and these quote-unquote OGs talk. And they feel like, all right, well, I've gained enough knowledge, I got it figured out. Mm-hmm. But they don't know all that stuff is subjective.
Right.
You know, there's certain standards that have to be met when it comes to printed material. Not a blog, but media. That's why I tell people I rarely read the blogs, I always read the media. Because if you're a real live media outlet, there's going to be fact checking, you know, there's going to be more fact checking, there's going to be, you know, some type of research before they even get into whatever the situation is.
Absolutely.
You know, and confirmation as well. With a blog, people just put up anything. They don't know a blog is opinionated. You know, so here it is, you're reading something, you swear it's the truth, you think this really happened, and come to find out it didn't happen, or it didn't happen the way that, you know, the blogger said it happened. And a lot of that stuff is put up there for clickbait.
Right.
You know, a lot of bloggers are I mean, it's their job.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like in the 2020, you know, era, everything can be monetized. Mm-hmm. So beef is monetized, rumors are monetized, gossip is monetized.
So speaking about that, like, so how do you feel right now with, because, you know, on our blog, Crazy Hip Hop World, mm-hmm. we've been covering just a little bit of the stories going on with, like, Dababy and really looking and seeing what people are saying. And so exactly. Do you feel like it is really, like, bullying? Do you feel like he's being targeted? Or do you really feel like, you know, it's just all,
he's definitely being targeted.
Okay.
He's definitely being targeted. Like, that's been confirmed. You know, I'm sort of on the inside a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I talk to people who are there with him each and every day. He's definitely being targeted. That's why, like, a lot of charges are brought up and then dropped. You know, or he beats all these cases. Everybody's wondering why this man, you know, has been arrested all these times. And we're not even just talking about recently. We're talking about from the time he really started buzzing.
When was that?
What, the time he started buzzing, or the time the law started buzzing?
Well, I guess a little bit of both. So when did you kind of really see him come out? And not just him, but really that wave of, like, that new wave that now all of us are sitting in now. When did you kind of feel that upcurrent happening with the Charlotte music scene? Do you think it was him? Do you think it was other artists and then him combined? Like, where did this new wave of, like, Charlotte music start?
The wave really started, I think it was, I want to say it was Deniro Farrar really took things from a local, you know, let me perform around the city and then North Carolina and South Carolina, mm-hmm. and let me perform in New York, Miami, you know, LA, DC, overseas in Germany. Deniro Farrar was really the one who stepped it up. And he had that whole New Charlotte sound. They had a New Charlotte movement. I think it was a song called New Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken. But from there, that's when you really started seeing the changing of the guard from the S-Dubs, Betty Grimes, Mr. 704s, and it got into the Dababy, J-Way, Deniro, like that whole area, Hotboy Lil Shaq, all of them. That's when, you know, things started to shift. And the OGs became OGs and, you know, got businesses and they got trucking companies and Betty Grimes got 2 degrees, you know, and things of that nature. And now you have the young boys over here, you know, taking their spots.
Okay. So looking at the spots now, so I always hear people talking about, you know, I'm next up. What makes that next up artist?
I mean, there's a lot of different elements. Everybody is next up, you know, until you actually get to a situation like Dababy where you're next up. And anybody, I mean, it's really for the taking. That's the great part about the Carolinas. Like, there aren't any cliques or labels or really any tastemakers that control the market. You know, you go to New York, there's certain people you gotta sort of fuck with. You go to Atlanta, there's definitely people you gotta fuck with. Here in the Carolinas, there's people who you need to go see, but there's nobody who's really like, I can't get in unless I go fuck with him. So that's the great part about the Carolinas. Anybody can be next up. It doesn't take anything more than a lot of grind, some great music, and being consistent.
Right.
You know, you put all 3 of those elements together, you know, and you get from behind your computer and you're really, really ready to go out here and bang in these streets, you know, and really put all of the elements together in a pot and put them, you know, put it on the stove and cook it up, then you're good to go.
Right.
You know, we have some people who have certain elements, some people don't have other elements. Some people are good on the computer, they never get out of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have some people who make great music, but when it comes to putting it out, they sit on it forever for what reason, I don't know, but, you know, they're always scared to pull the trigger. You know what I'm saying?
And so why do you think that is? Because, you know, just in the climate that I see now in Charlotte, I understand exactly what you're saying, and it's kind of frustrating because you see all these people with all this tremendous amount of talent, but do you think that it is the climate of Charlotte that is making it a little difficult for there to be alignment between these artists and really kind of lifting each other up? Because Charlotte is different than a lot of other markets that I've seen. I'm sure you've seen, because you know, you've been doing this for how long? How many years?
21 years.
21 years. I mean, so looking at the climates, what can Charlotte do to make a stronger music community? Because, I mean, I know you can see the importance of it with events like you're having with the Charlotte Hornets, but what can the city do to really embrace? Because some of these environments are kind of stale, they're kind of stagnant. It's like people aren't really loving on each other. Why do you think that is?
I feel like everybody is so concerned about what the next man is doing and if the next man is supporting or not. And all I see all day online is people crying and whining about not getting the respect they deserve in the city. Niggas is fucking with these niggas in the city. I'm the hottest nigga. I'm the realest nigga. These niggas ain't
I'm the
real.
richest nigga.
Yeah, I'm the richest nigga in the city. You know, I done shot this nigga. I done been blood this long. I done been crip this long. I done been doing it. It's always what the next person think of you and what the next person is doing. Nobody puts the fucking blinders on and says, I don't give a fuck about what none of these niggas doing. I ain't here to make no friends. I ain't here to goddamn make no enemies either. But at the same time, it's all about me. It's all about my crew. It's all about my clique. We will put our money together. We will goddamn flood this shit. We don't give a fuck if we on the east side, we on the west side. We don't give a fuck if we in Hidden Valley. We don't give a fuck if we are Nations Forward.
Right.
Like, nigga, we coming in that bitch. We postering it up. We stickering it up. We flying it up. I'm gonna get 1,000 CDs and passing them shit out at every fucking event, every nightclub. Like, nobody puts the blinders on and just goes hard. And that's what Dababy did. I feel like that was the formula to his success. He didn't worry about what nobody else was doing. He wasn't worried about who was paying for the feature, who was doing this, who was doing that. He wasn't on fucking IG all day crying about shit on Facebook, typing stories about who ain't booking him and this nigga scared to do this with him. And you know, that nigga got out there and he did what the fuck he had to do.
Exactly. And,
you know
and it's so motivating hearing you say that, because we're kicking off our tour in March. And so it's been really funny just people's reaction to it because we haven't asked for anybody's permission. We're just doing it. So we're going and we're looking at, you know, South by Southwest. We're looking at some of these venues, and it's just so motivating to hear you say that because that has been what I've been trying to tell my team, and they've been listening to it, which is why I think we're advancing. But, you know, with us going on tour, we have 2 tour sponsors that we're going to announce, but it's really us and it's really our team.
Exactly.
What is like advice? Like I really want to break it down because when people hear tour, they really don't know what it is. So let's talk about like tours where people are doing exactly what you're saying, getting the team together and going out on the road. What are some critical things that you absolutely have to make sure, you know, are checked off the list?
First things first, marketing and branding. No matter what type of tour you're on, you need to own that tour. That needs to be your shit. It doesn't matter if you went on IG and you found 20 showcases and you paid to be on those showcases and you're gonna drive around to all 20 of them motherfuckers on your own dime and sleep in a shitty ass fucking hotel and go in them bitches and turn up for 7-minute sets or 5-minute sets. None of that matters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter as much as the perception.
Though, because there's a lot of promoters out here that are just getting rich off of the just broken ambitions of these artists. And I think that it's very honorable that you are one of those people that is not that way and that comes out and says, listen, if you really want to make you some money, this is what you need to do.
Exactly.
Why do you think that there are, and not just in Charlotte, just in general, because, you know, even situations like, I hear a lot of artists always having issues with promoters paying or, you know, getting their just due, you know, being treated like they're supposed to be treated. I mean, we did a show with Dababy out in Dover and it was great, but I could even feel like, where's your respect for, you know, they respected us, but they didn't respect themselves as much as they should. And I'm not just talking about them, I'm talking about the Charlotte culture, and not Charlotte, the music culture. Why is there not respect for the artistry anymore?
Well, see, back to what I was saying about perception.
Right.
You know, and everything boils down to that. It's how you carry yourself. So, like I was saying with them tours, even if you pay to be on showcase or you set up like a tour, you need to own that showcase. You need to get your own flyers made. I'm on fucking tour. I am the headliner. Anybody else who's on the show, put them motherfuckers small on that bitch. So now you automatically have the perception, me big at the top of the flyer, all these other niggas underneath me small on the flyer. So it looks like you're the headliner. That automatically grabs people's attention and says, yo, bro's doing big things. Right. Yeah, all these people are on the tour with him. Tour, granted, you know, that word is subjective, but he's the headliner. Then when you get to the venue, you gotta own the fucking venue. You know what I'm saying? Right. You need somebody early to put the CDs, the posters, the flyers all over the place. Presence. You know what I'm saying? If you got banners, put them, like you said, put them shit on the fucking stage. You need to walk in that bitch. And, you know, naturally if the promoter says something, so be it. But for the most part, they ain't gonna give a fuck. Go in here, flyer this whole bitch up. Get niggas to walk up and down the street, putting the posters all up and down the street. Because you gotta remember, there's 50 artists at that showcase. Each artist is gonna come with a clique of 3 to 5 people. Some people bring more. So that's a lot of niggas who are gonna see your shit. And it's all feeding their subconscious. Yeah, they're there to perform, and yeah, they're there to turn up just like you, but they're like, God damn, this nigga here, he done goddamn took this motherfucker out.
Right.
You know, and I feel like a lot of Charlotte artists don't do that, and that's where the respect factor comes in. Okay. Because if you walk through that fucking door and you look like a local ass nigga and you carry yourself like a local ass nigga, you gonna be treated like a local ass nigga. You walk in, now don't walk in there like you bigger than life, because that'll also get you disrespected, because niggas be like, who the fuck you think you are?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you gotta walk in there like you own it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta own that bitch, and I feel like nobody goes in with the mindset of this is gonna be my shit. Could be a small show. It can only have 50 people in there. That's even better, because that's less people I gotta fight against. I can make an impression on everybody in that room because there's only 50 people in this motherfucker.
You're right.
You know?
So tell me, like, okay, so 21 years. I'm a love hip hop, old school hip hop fan, new school hip hop fan. What is the best tours that you've ever been to? Because we've been looking at a lot of show footage and kind of seeing that spike. You got natural performers, and then you got people that are just there to perform. So, like, tell me more about like the best tours you've ever been to. Just, I know that's a loaded question across the span of your career, but which ones? I mean, I'm sure that there were like 2 or 3 that like even right now would give you goosebumps. Like, damn, I didn't expect for him or her to. And it doesn't even have to be in hip hop. I just mean performers in general.
All right, so when I first started doing the Dub Show tour, Dub Magazine has the Dub shows, and
yes.
huge shows, huge productions.
Yes.
I saw Snoop Dogg when we were on the Atlanta leg of the tour. I saw Snoop Dogg come out there and kill that motherfucker. He had, a live band naturally. He had a DJ. There was a full-fledged production. He had fucking dancers. He had sets. Like, it was dope. It was one of those things where it was an experience. It wasn't just him getting on stage and hopping around.
Right.
Or not even hopping around, but standing in one place. I feel like, and I had this conversation with somebody earlier, and I think it was you, where I said people they try to be too cool and it comes across as being boring, and that's in front of the camera and that's on stage.
Right.
So I tell a lot of artists, separate yourself from everybody else. Now I do the showcase at Onyx. You have some people get up there and they throw fucking money. You know what I'm saying? And that's their thing. And that's fine. You want to throw money on the girls. But then I have some dudes who get up there and they have $50 and they give each girl $10 and they be like, here, hold my banner behind me while I perform. So you got all 5 strippers on stage holding up a big ass banner with this guy's face on it or his album cover or some type of promo for him, and that gets everybody's attention.
Right.
Who doesn't want to see naked ladies? And then what's gonna make them look at your banners? The fucking naked girls.
Right. I think it was so funny because we did that show with you, and it was so funny because I remember the look on your face when I just like hopped in the booth and I was like, oh, I don't think people do this a lot because people are looking at me like, what the fuck is she doing? But I had to connect with you. That happens to me a lot. But I just believe in the power of relationship, and I just feel like, definitely. And we love that show. And what we really saw is that we were like the only ones that actually had like a whole show set. Like we had like, we were looking at, and there were things that definitely I look back now and I'm like, okay, we could change that up. But like I told you, like when we made that transition to really investing in ourselves and saying, okay, we're not going to go back on stage until someone says, here you go do what you need to do.
Exactly.
Why do you think it's so hard for artists to hit that transition between saying, and of course, you can grow as you go, but why do some artists never kind of take that step to say, listen, it's time for me to, assert myself? Do you think it's fear? Do you think it's just lack of material? What do you think it is? Because I see it happening a lot, and it's sad because there's so much talent in the city.
No, it happens a lot. I feel like people have unrealistic expectations of what is supposed to be happening at what point in their career.
That's true too.
Everybody always use the term, this is, the music game is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And I take it a step further and I tell them, but don't forget, a marathon is still a race. Alright? You still gotta run that motherfucker. You can't sit there and walk and feel like, oh, I'm doing it here, I'm doing it there, I'm making a little bit of progression, I'm fine. No, you need to steadily be making progression and you need to move like you got a fucking goal you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
But I feel like people, and I see this happen all the time, niggas be like, I put out 3 or 4 albums, now it's time for me to get paid. Well,
what is the proper time to put out an album? It's really the question.
Anytime. Like I said, the music game is the Wild Wild West, which is good in a way. It's bad. It has its bad points, but it's good in a way because there are no fucking rules. You walk into Dodge City, niggas just have their fucking guns out ready to shoot. You can get shot, you can get shot, you can get shot. You can say what's up and the nigga take it the wrong way and shoot your ass. It's the Wild Wild West. So that's the thing. It comes time to drop an album, fuck it, whatever. I got my guns loaded, I'm about to fucking shoot. I'm dropping today, I'm dropping tomorrow. We live in a content-driven society where you have to constantly be in people's faces. You have to constantly have new content. The old business model of the record labels is completely shattered. And I hear so many artists, and it's weird to me because I hear so many artists, like young artists still quoting, or still living by the process of the old business model. And I'm sitting here like, where did you get this information from? Fucking YouTube.
The internet.
You know what I'm saying? Following these old ass fucking artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just follow Dame Dash, I'm gonna follow Diddy, I'm gonna follow Steve Stout, I'm gonna follow, fucking Kevin Lyles, I'm gonna follow Russell Simmons,
Oh my
you know,
God.
and that's gonna be all the information I
Right.
need in order to get on. You know what I'm saying? They were successful in their times.
Exactly.
A lot of them were still trying to make the transition to keep up with what's going on now. So when it comes to what's going on now, you gotta look at the niggas who are hot right now and what they're doing. You know, and you gotta take the grind and the work ethic from the old model. That's what people aren't grasping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't take the method, take the work ethic, and then apply that to what we're doing now in today's music society. So I tell people, you get 10 good songs, get them motherfuckers mixed and mastered, get a dope ass cover for it, put that bitch out.
What should you look for in mixing and mastering? Because with me being a manager, it's kind of, I think that's a lot of disconnect that a lot of teams feel, the people that aren't really on the music side, of what mixing and mastering should sound like, and those things that you should really look for. Because, you know, credits are great, but like everyone's sound is different and unique. So with the type of sound that we exude, we're doing a lot of different, we want to pull in a lot of different sounds. How do you find the right fit when it comes to mixing and mastering? Or
that's weird.
Backup question:
That's
do you have any
question.
recommendations? Because
I
love word of mouth referrals.
I have a few recommendations I'll give you off camera. I don't want to get into no free promo. They need to cut a check for the free promo.
Straight up.
But I will say this though, a lot of the CDs that I get to duplicate through my duplication company, the master copy comes from GAT3 in Charlotte.
Okay.
Master copy comes from GAT3. You want to work with somebody who brings out the hidden jewels in your music when you talk about mixing and mastering. And really, you got to find a great engineer who you can vibe with, who understands the type of music you're trying to do. Because when I was doing music, because I started off rapping, I got into the game rapping.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got into the game rapping.
Oh my gosh.
So,
you gotta send me some of your music.
listen, I got some heat now.
Okay.
Listen, I got some heat. And
now,
this is from like 98, this is from 98, 99 now.
We can put it on there now. Go ahead and get these streams now. Come on now. I'm here for it.
The thing is, even back then, we had an engineer who was like, you can't mix and master hard hip hop the same way you master boom bap rap. You can't master the down south gangster shit or the West Coast gangster shit like how you master, you know, the Talib Kweli in the most depths.
Right.
And then you also have the music that was coming out of Florida, which was the heavy bounce bass music, the booty shake shit, the Lukes and all them.
Right.
You can't master that the same way as that as well.
Right.
And then you can't take country and master the same way as hip hop. And we all know R&B is the hardest to mix and master. So you need to find an engineer that's either multi-talented, multifaceted, or who specializes in what you do. Okay. And with a lot of the eclectic sound of rap music now, remember at one point in time there was only 3 types. You had East Coast, down south, West Coast. Now you have rap being at its pop. It's the popular genre of music is blended with so much. Everybody is a rock star, and everybody, you know, wears wallet chains and has that punk rock feel. And people like to use live instrumentation. And there's more than just 808s and a Triton keyboard now that people are using to make music. When I was making music, that's all there was. You had an MPC 1000, and then you had a fucking Triton or a Trinity keyboard, and that was it.
So how big was it?
No, you had the big,
like
you had the 64 keys and all that. You had the big ones, and you know what I'm saying. Niggas wasn't on the little tiny shit. Okay. You know, but everything back then was big.
Okay.
You know, there
like
wasn't
the
a small sound module. Those didn't come until, you know, like the early, just give me like the late 2000s where you could just buy a sound module. You know, like everything was fucking big. You had to buy the keyboard.
Do you need both of them? Do you feel like more artists should implement both? Because I feel like I see some artists.
Artists use everything on the fucking keyboard, and they'll have like a little small, you know, keyboard to do basic, you know, manipulations of sounds. But back then, like, there wasn't none of that shit. You had to physically make the beat on the fucking MPC and fuck with shit and run it through filters and flanges and all that, and then you had to play shit on the keyboard. Like, you know, like that's when producers really had to know what they were doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
But no, it's all about finding somebody who can connect with you and who knows, who you get on the same wavelength with as far as what I want my music to sound like and how it should sound. And it's gonna take you a while. Like you're never gonna. It's rare. Let me not say never. It's rare you find a great engineer out the fucking gate who can really, really bring out the best in your music. And then, you know, like post-production, as far as mixing and mastering, there are some engineers who will go in there and change your whole fucking record up. Like make it have a big sound. Like being that I came up in the mixtape era, I used to get songs fresh out the studio.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Fresh out the studio, I would have people call me and be like, bro, I got this brand new Rick Ross record. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got it. You know, PayPal me $200, I'll send it to you right now. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how they used to leak records back in the day.
Right.
So, you know, they would be fresh out to, like, they would be unmixed. Vocals would be everywhere. Sometimes you have ad-libs louder than them. Like, they would steal it out the studio the best way they could. Like, fuck how it sounds. Like,
so were they, like, recording it on their phones? Like,
no. We had flip phones back then. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, everybody used to have
like two ways. You know, like, you know, we was fucking with the star tags.
Record button,
you know?
Okay.
Yeah, we was fucking with the star tags. Niggas had Blackberries a little later on, but yeah, we was fucking with the flip phones. The Razors and, you know, the Crazers and the fucking the candy bar Nokias, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But, no, niggas used to, you know what I'm saying? They used to bounce it down to an MP3 real quick, like, and burn it on a CD or email it to you. But, you know, and then when the actual album would come out with that song on it, it would sound so much bigger. And I use Rick Ross as an example because we hear how his music sounds, his engineers are top notch. Right. You know, when you listen to anything from Ross, they call it luxury rap. You know, but when you listen to anything from Ross, his music just has a big sound. Even if it doesn't have a lot of different sounds in it, his mixing and mastering team is fucking phenomenal.
Right. You know? And I really like his implementation of strings. I love
exactly.
when rappers use strings and
that's what I said, luxury
and
rap.
so
yeah.
So the name of our label is called Culture Collective, and I basically picked that name after the collectives they used to have, like back in the 90s, like Michael Jackson had his and Prince had his, and you had like all these like super, and everybody was just kind of mixing the sauce around. So exactly. Looking at like a collective and looking at a group of a team, like what are those key pivotal parts that you need? Because like you said, an engineer, like it may take a while to find that person that has your sound, but you know, a lot of people are really hell-bent on just, I'm gonna be independent, I'm gonna do it all independent. Is that a realistic take on things, or do you think it's absolutely integral to have a team? It's
definitely, I mean, you know, let's not confuse independent with having a team. You know, absolutely. Being independent and being by yourself are two totally different things. Because even if you are independent, you know, you still have to have a staff. You see what I'm saying? When we look at independence, we look at it as the freedom to be able to do whatever you want to do without seeking permission. Right. You know, that is my definition of being independent. So you can even be signed to a label. You could be in a partnership with the label where a label just licenses your music. You still own all your masters. You still distribute it all yourself. You don't ask their permission for anything. They put up money to give you that extra bump and give you that access to, you know, the Tonight shows.
Like the media. Okay.
Exactly, yeah, the media.
Like Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Breakfast Club, the Tonight Show, you know, they get you on, you know, ESPN, on First Take, and, you know, in exchange for a piece of your profits.
Okay. And, so no master. So it's just like basically the revenue that comes out. They're just
exactly. You know, it's almost like an admin publishing deal where you pay them to handle the business so that you can be free to be creative.
So like when everybody, this perception of like a record deal, right? Like, you know, looking at partnerships, why do you think that people are still so hell-bent like, I gotta get a deal, you know, a deal is a way for me? Do you feel like that's still the culture? Do you feel like more people should be like,
That's definitely the culture now. I mean,
was it like that in the 90s? Like,
no. You had Master P and them who preached independence like crazy.
Wow.
You know, like you had Master P and them out here, and Jay Prince, and even Cash Money. You had all these different record labels, independent record labels who had distribution deals. You know, because back then it took a lot. Because we had CDs, naturally. You had to put up a lot of upfront money to get CDs burnt and then to get them shipped. And you had to have a whole department that was keeping up with the counts with Sam Goody, Best Buy, FYE, Target, Walmart. Then you got the small mom and pop stores. So people used to get distribution deals back then just to handle that part. I will record it, I'll put all the money up. I just need you to distribute it. And then, you know, they would take 15% of the record sales,
Right.
you know, in exchange for their distribution network.
Gotcha.
But now, you know, CDs are almost obsolete on the sales side, and you know, they're more for promo now.
Right.
Because not because people aren't listening to CDs, but because where are you gonna buy CDs at? If I want to get Dababy's new album, you know, because you know I don't like playing shit off my phone because you know I'm always working on my phone all day, or you know I done got busted with my side bitch calling me and my phone was hooked up to the Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck it, I ain't never hooking this shit up to Bluetooth again. I'm just gonna buy CDs. Where would I buy
Got that
CDs
IP
from?
address.
Exactly.
Caught you slipping.
You're like, where would I buy CDs from? So
Right.
it's not necessarily.
That's hilarious.
It's not. I mean, that's happened to a lot of people. Almost happened to me a few
I
times.
was gonna say, like,
I'll be like, listen, you know what I'm saying? I just hit
You
the
did
end
catch me
button.
said I'm not a player, but
Listen, man, that,
Yeah.
if you don't commit, you can't cheat. You see what I'm saying?
see, that sounds like some Charlemagne knowledge.
No, I'm just saying.
Black
Once
man
you
can't
commit, then you're a cheater. If you don't commit, you're never a cheater.
We're gonna have a relationship special
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in.
Listen, I mean, I'm
We're
not,
gonna
I'm
let
not
DJ
even God.
JT give y'all
I'm
the
not even
sauce.
God for that.
He's
y'all,
like, he is
listen, y'all was-
part-time relationship
Y'all was
coach.
single forever, fucking around with me.
No, but you be dropping
Ooh,
gems because I see people in the comments like, yo, bro, I know, cause Shorty had you
Oh
know,
yeah,
just put it out there.
I keep it 100, but like
Yeah.
my relationship advice, you know, if you would have caught me while I was in, I'm big on not taking relationship advice from nobody who's not in a fucking relationship. I am
Say it
big
again
on
for
that.
the people. It's
You know what I'm saying?
2020.
Like I am big on that, and that's
Right.
just advice in general. Unless you have reached what I'm trying to reach, I don't even really want your advice. I take it with a grain of salt. I listen, you know, because
How
I
do you
make
run a
valuable
relationship
pieces.
in this industry? Because when you look at it, like all these different factors of relationships in the music industry. I mean, like, you know, romantic relationships.
Like I was about to say romantic relationships or building relationships.
Well, like,
between
yeah, the
business.
business, but I feel like people don't talk about the literal. Like, you know, you're talking about coming into a world that you've never been in. You've got to balance all these things. How does one balance, like, ambition and status quo? Because the status quo is we're all supposed to, you know, grow up and, you know, get married and have kids and just have these lifestyles. But as you look at people now, things are changing. So what do you say to someone that is looking at pursuing a relationship or being in a relationship in this industry? Because I come across a lot of artists who don't have that support. They don't have the support from their significant others. They don't have the support from their family. But really, that significant other relationship is what kills life. So, what would you advise someone coming into the game? Because I don't think it's a lot of things that artists think about. Like, how do you sit an artist down when you get to that step? They're like, okay, you know, I'm ready to put my music out. You know, that real, you know, that real nigga shit. Like, what are you gonna tell them, and what would you advise them on? Because it's hard for a lot of artists, not just male but female too, to balance that work-life balance. I guess is a better question.
There's no such thing. You know, there's no such thing as a work-life balance. You just, some days your music is gonna suffer, and then some days your relationship is gonna suffer. You know, you just have to pick and choose and be realistic about what can suffer now. What can I afford to cut right now so that I can make the other one work or make the other one pop. In the infancy of my career, you know, my oldest son's mother and I were together, and she was extremely supportive. That's one of the things I attribute a lot of my success to, because I was able to get so far ahead because I had an amazing support system, not just from her, you know, but you know, from my mom, my brothers, my sister, everybody in the hood. Like, everybody in my hood believed in me. I didn't have any naysayers. I didn't have any haters. I didn't have anybody trying to undermine what I was doing from my hood. And I feel like that, but that's because everybody, well, I was in a time where if you were still in the streets, you did not want to be in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, young nigga, we gonna put this money behind you. You be in front of the camera. We gonna stay out here. We gonna get this money. Niggas would show up to the shows, flashy as fuck, and be like, ah, damn, who the niggas is with you? You know what I'm saying?
Silent partners.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, those the big homies. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I feel like Now everybody wants to become the CEO, the manager, the publicist. You can go on some of these publicist websites and they whole fucking social media, and their whole fucking social media is them. Like, bitch, who do you work with? I want to see a resume. I'm on your social media to see the people you work with. You trying to get
managers like that too.
Listen, managers the same
Bring
way.
their artists
Nigga, who do you work for?
Absolutely.
Before I bring you in, you can't tell me who you work for. Nigga, I want to see you backstage with them niggas. I want to see you on a tour bus with them niggas. I don't want to see a picture of you at a show with them niggas. You could be anybody doing that. You know what I'm saying? Show me the work. Show me your clientele. Show me the people you have signed to. I feel like everybody is in the way now. So that's the issue. You got the artist trying to push himself. You got the manager trying to push himself. You got the publicist trying to push herself. You got the producers out here, goddamn, they in the video too now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everybody fighting for attention.
Turn up.
You know, and that's cool. Everybody wants to get paid and everybody, but my thing is, I've always focused on, I want to let my resume and my work ethic speak for itself. The bigger I can make other people and the more services I offer to make other people bigger, the better it's going to make me. Nobody sees it that way. They always want to be like, I'm me, look at me, look at me. And as a manager, nobody's going to give you what you deserve or how much money you feel like you should get or the salary you feel you get until they see your clients go platinum. As a publicist, nobody's gonna pay you that monthly fee that you want until they see you get niggas on XXL, The Source, you know, goddamn Genius, The Breakfast Club, all that other shit. When you can say, shit, these are my 5 clients. Didn't you see him do an interview with Elliott Wilson last week? Didn't you see this person have a feature on allhiphop.com? Didn't you see this person make this freshman cover? Now niggas is like, God damn. This little 7,000 a month she want to be my publicist. Shit, we just gonna have to rob a few banks and push some more packs to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just like, well, who have you worked with and where have they done? And that's, I worked with this person and I worked with that person and I ain't never heard of them niggas before. I'm like, girl, you better take this little 500 I got.
Because, you know, like when I told you, and I keep bringing this up because it taught me a lot in my career. Mm-hmm. When I told you that when you had invited us to come to the showcase and stuff, and I said, you know, we're going to cool off because this is what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. In that moment, it's like you didn't check me, but you told me, okay, well, y'all get to work. And when I took that, and we really like have been sitting back, and it has been very uncomfortable because you see all these other people moving and do all of these things, but it's that discipline. And so when you're doing like events like the Sharp Horns event, and when you're doing your music education classes and you're teaching this discipline, how do you really hone that in and pull that in? Because, you know, a lot of people, it's hard when you don't. It's not hard when you don't have the support, but it's difficult when people are like, no, you need to be doing it this way. When you know, hey, maybe I should go the other way. What would you say to somebody that is looking to go that other way and not just be riding the same wave as everybody else? Because you mentioned it before, but I really want people I want it to sink in with them, like the differentiation of it all.
See, you have to do what's best for you. I really, when I'm in my music business classes, I always use the story of a rapper that I knew from the Carolinas who really, really had the year that he was popping on a lot. I'm talking about the nigga was in every strip club throwing money. He had the rap vans. He had billboards. He had CDs, posters, flyers. He had a staff. Everybody wore his t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro was moving like crazy. Mm-hmm. Everybody was trying to play catch up with this nigga. This nigga was spending crazy money. You had niggas out here not paying their rent so that they could do what this man doing. People not paying their child support so that they could do what this man was doing. They saw what he was doing. They wanted it exactly like how the fuck he had it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they had to do to look like this nigga got jury. Them niggas was robbing niggas to get jury. They just wanted to do it because he was the trendsetter. Everybody was looking at this nigga. They had no idea this man's mom had died having a simple surgery. Mm-hmm. They sued the hospital for malpractice. And he got like $500,000. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep up with this man. You know what I'm saying?
But in their minds, that's what they see.
In their mind, they didn't know that that's what happened behind the scenes.
Wow.
If you really knew him, you know that this man was going through pain. Like this man lost his mom. You know what I'm saying? And he took that money and he was doing the better. He knew that his mom wanted him to be successful with the music, and he was doing what he felt like she wanted him to do. He didn't care about nothing else. Mama wanted me to be successful with this music shit. I got this insurance money. I got this settle money. I'm gonna do what Mama said. That's why he was going so fucking hard. Like, not only did he have the money, but he had the drive. Y'all niggas trying to keep up with a nigga. You know, y'all making $40,000 a year at your job. You may be selling a weed on the side. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep up with this man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I use as a prime example. You gotta go at your own pace. Do what you're supposed to do. I tell everybody, do not look at the next man. You can look at him as far as what you may see him doing right, but don't try to keep up with him. Because you never know what these niggas have gone through. You never know what these niggas are going through. You never know how they got their paper. You never know what type of connections they have. Somebody's uncle may work for a record label and be shooting them something. You know, somebody may have a rich cousin or a rich mom and dad and be shooting them something. You never know. So you got to go at your own pace. So I tell people, look at the moves other people are making that are effective. You know, because you want to see what's effective. You know what I'm saying? But don't try to mimic what anybody else is doing. If you know you make $750 a week at your job, and you know you can only set aside $300 a week to do some music related shit, go at your own pace. Take that $300, set it to the side. This week I'm gonna get posters. This week I'm gonna get flyers. This week I'm gonna go in the studio. I'm gonna buy some beats. You know, whatever. And if it takes you 9 months to be able to put something out and do it with the right quality and the right promotion behind it, then it just took you 9 months. Don't look at this nigga over here who got, you know, a big homie over here who goddamn, you know what I'm saying, is busting checks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He
right.
busting checks. He goddamn swiping shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's able to provide, you know, for his little homie. Or
right.
a nigga over here who just robbed the plug. You know, he ran off on the plug. He got, you know what I'm saying, $100,000, and he's able to. You can't do that. You gotta go at your own pace. I built everything I have now off of a $202 a week unemployment check and a quarter pound of some Reggie.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, you got it done now.
Yeah, I got it done. Listen, I took that quarter pound of Reggie that was fronted to me, and I ran that motherfucker up till I was buying 7-8 pounds of Reggie, and I goddamn was still taking that little $202 unemployment check, and that's what I was using for legal money. That's what I was using for proof, depositing in my bank account, and I was buying posters, I was buying flyers, I was buying CDs, I was buying computers. Because back then, CD burners were like $1,000 a piece. Now you can get one for like $250.
$1,000.
Like then they were $1,000. That was when CDs like CDs were the shit. Like this was, we talking about 2001. Like it was do it yourself duplication had just come out.
That makes sense.
You know, do it yourself duplication had just come out.
So let's talk about do it yourself. Let's talk about do it yourself, because really what you got going on with the event, I want to spend some time talking about it. I just think it's amazing. I mean, tell us more about, you know, the partnership, how it got started, and really what you're looking to do with the music industry nights, because like you said before, we touched on it, but I really want people to understand that this is an opportunity for them to, if nothing else, come out and support and really, you know, lift up the community. So tell us more about it. So when they came at me with music industry night, when the Hornets approached me about it, it was really a clusterfuck. You know, it was one of those situations where they had already had the event planned, and the promo team or the people who were presenting it, they weren't even from Charlotte. So like they didn't have any ties here. They didn't know what they were doing.